Welcome back. Welcome back. Back here again. We talking about another movie. It's October. Want to do a few horror movies, and I'm here with.
Alex, how's everybody doing? Back again.
Yeah, I can't do it without my boy Alice. You know, he's a wealth of knowledge, and he's a movie buff. Eh, More of a movie buff than me, honestly. And I love movies, so just wonderful to be back here with him, talking about something we love. We both love horror movies,
Absolutely.
and and today we're talking about one of those underrated movies, Demon Night, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Night.
Yes, yes.
To start out, if you were around, in the late '80s, early '90s, you definitely know about the Crypt Keeper and Tales from the Crypt on HBO.
Iconic show. Iconic.
Those crazy episodes, man. Some of them were, some of them were scary, some of them were suspenseful. They always had a little bit of comedy in them, and it was just a great show. Great show. If you were, fairly young in the late '80s, early '90s, you were definitely watching Tales from the Crypt. And if you were too young to be watching it, you were sneaking and watching it because it was just one of those shows you kind of had to catch up to.
Yes.
Yeah. So, hey, without further ado, we're gonna talk about Demon Knight. And to start out, let's talk about who's in this movie. Of course, looking at it now, Jada Pinkett is pretty much the star of this movie, and this is back before she was destroying Will Smith. But uh, back when she was young, and she was just cute Jada Pinkett. Everybody had a crush on her. You know,
Oh yeah.
she was a fairly
Yes.
decent actress. She was in a few
Me.
few movies. You say, yeah, yeah. Everybody liked Jada. You got CCH Pounders in this movie, a sister that's been in a lot of movies and TV shows, and you know her face but don't know her name. Dick Miller's in this movie. Another horror movie legend. This guy's showing up in everything.
Yes.
We talked about
Yes.
Truck Turner. We talked about Truck Turner a little while back, and guess who was in it? Dick Miller. And we got Billy Zane. We'll get to Billy Zane, but to me, this is the movie. When somebody says Billy Zane, this is the movie I think about
Yes.
because of his role in this movie and how he chews up the scenery in this movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So who stands out to you? Who stands out to you in this movie?
Oh man. Definitely CC Pounder. I remember her from The Orphan. I think she played one of the nuns, and she was on the Cosby Show I think a couple times too. But again, she always reminded me of Viola Davis. She's kind of like a Viola Davis actress. She's underrated as far as her
Yeah.
talent. Always getting given a really really good performance, whatever she does. And again, we were saying this before in other videos. It's just a face where you see her. You know, sometimes you might not be able to get her name right off the back, but you know that she's been in a few things, and she's always delivers a great performance, man. Of course, Dick Miller. I think Dick Miller's been in just about everything.
Yeah.
Especially what we've talked about.
Yeah.
Uh, you got a guy, Thomas Church. I remember him from being the Sandman in the Spider-Man movies,
Yeah.
and he seems to play like a really good asshole. So this fit him
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
um,
Exactly.
you got the hero. His name was William Sandler.
I
Um,
think so.
we remember him in this role of Shawshank Redemption. Really,
Yeah.
really did a very good job in that film as well. So,
Yeah.
and of course, you were saying Billy Zane. He did the Phantom. Titanic. He's just one of those guys where he again another guy that plays when he plays a villain. He's a really, really good villain, a good asshole.
Yeah.
So he knocked it out of the park in this one for real.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So those are my characters.
So yeah. Yeah. And one more thing about CCH Pounder. If you also don't know her face, you probably know her voice because she's done voice acting in a ton of stuff. A lot of the DC
Right.
Justice League cartoons. Just she's done voice acting and acting. She's been in all over the place. So you definitely know her voice if you don't know her face.
Right.
But yeah, besides that, man, what's this movie about?
Well, I mean, as far as the plot goes, man, apparently it kind of goes. The story goes back to like Genesis, where the Earth was created, and of course darkness was created, and there were seven keys um, that were supposed to be, I guess, lock back the darkness. Um, the point that we're at in the film right now, where I think hell and the demons have collected six of them, so there's only one key left. That's saving the human race from darkness and damnation. And we've got a character named
Yeah,
Breaker who has the last key, and he's constantly on the run because he's got all these demon collectors trying to get the key from him. So that's pretty much where the film opens up at. And through the journey of the film, we find that he interacts with a bunch of
yeah,
characters. Everybody has their little quirks, their bad points about them in the film, and again, he's there trying to protect him and do the job of, I guess, the key keeper, who's a hero. And his antagonist
yeah,
is Billy Zane, who plays a
yeah.
collector. He's one of the demons that is sent to collect a key, and that's pretty much the
Right.
biggest part of the film plot. You know,
To back up, it actually opens up with the Crypt Keeper. It's like they're filming a TV
right,
show or whatever, like an episode of Tales from the Crypt, and you get then it gets to where Billy Zane is chasing them. They have a car chase, an
right,
accident or whatever, and our hero gets picked up. I'm sorry, our hero gets to
hotel,
the hotel brothel, whatever it is. Billy Zane gets picked up by
right,
the cops, and I like how this movie kind of slow rolls you into
right,
what the key is and who this guy is and how old he is and it doesn't just feed you everything
right.
right at the beginning, and I kind of appreciate that about it. So now that we know what the plot is, who is your, because I can guess. I'm gonna take a wild guess, but I ain't gonna say that. Who is your favorite character in this movie?
Wow, man. Well, I like Breaker, because I think that he plays a different kind of hero. It's almost like
Yeah,
these key keepers or key protectors are kind of like reluctant heroes. They didn't sign up for it. I mean, it's kind of like they were picked,
yeah,
destiny and all of that stuff, because when they receive the key, they get the tattoo of the seven stars. So it's
right,
kind of like, if you are kind of like the last man standing, so to speak, with you and the collector. I mean, you and not the collector, but you and the key protector. Then you win the torch, and it's passed to you. So I like his character a lot, and he played
yeah,
it as kind of like a reluctant hero. He's not, you know, over daring and
right,
super heroic. He kind of like justifier, and
right,
he basically, deals with every
yeah,
situation with whatever bag of tricks that he has. So I thought that was really really decent as far as like a hero. We don't really see that very often.
right,
Um, and of course, Billy Zane's character. I mean, think of a
yeah,
demon. His charisma,
right,
as far as his role, really came across. Man, he's not like all this stoic, evil. Demons rule all. He's really got like like a sarcastic, comedic side to the whole thing. As he's going around collecting the key, like
yeah,
trying to get the keys. Like, man, come on, just give me the key, bro. It's just the whole movie's kind of like that, where it's kind of like really funny,
yeah, yeah.
nonchalant, but slick at the same time. So I loved his character, definitely.
Man, for me, it's obviously Billy Zane.
Yeah.
This dude, every time he's on the screen, man, you can't look away
Nah.
because he's just chewing it up. He's
Yeah.
chewing it like it's like he had a wonderful time making this movie.
Absolutely.
He knew what it was, he knew what he had to play, and he just hammed it up as much as he could. And I like how like connive. You look at him, you're like, oh, I don't trust that dude.
Yeah.
There's something about him. Something about him ain't right. and he kind of he plays that, man. He plays it to his advantage. You know, he tries to smooth people along and get them to trust him and everything. But he's a demon,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he the way that he goes from being this nice, you know, charming guy to just doing something totally evil in a split second.
Right.
It's just wonderful. It's one of the best parts of this movie to me.
Right.
And yeah, his character, that's easily my favorite. Like, that's the one thing I remember about this movie after having not seen it for years. I remember Billy Zane's portrayal in this
Absolutely.
movie. So
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So that's gonna lead me to my next question,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go ahead and answer it. I'm gonna go ahead and answer it first.
Okay.
Best kill in the movie, my favorite kill in the movie. Billy Zane. He's they're at the hotel, and the sheriff and the deputy are there, and they're trying to find out where the key is from Breaker. And Billy Zane's like, well, you know, hold on, I need to make sure I get my property before I leave, and this and that. And you know, they decide to arrest him, and then the sheriff's like, no, you're gonna, you know, talking to Billy Zane, you're gonna come with us too. And he's like, you know, basically he's like, you know, I tried to be nice about this, but you know, screw it.
Right.
And he turns around and punches the sheriff right through right, not in the face, through his face,
Yes.
out the back of his head. And if that wasn't, you know, bad enough, insult to injury, he slings the body around, you know, on by his head, and then throws it and like rips the head off and throws the head. And, bro, I don't know who came up with that, but that was incredible.
Yes.
I can watch that over and over again. That's one of the best. That's one of the best horror movie kills, you know, in years.
Absolutely.
It's
I
awesome.
agree.
And then of course everybody's reaction is just like, "Oh my god!" Because the movie goes from like kind of serious, not supernatural, anything like that,
Right.
to this dude just punched somebody through the face and through his head
Right.
immediate, and that's where the movie turns completely right there.
Yep. That's when all hell breaks loose.
So now I present the same question. I present the same question to you.
Well, actually, for me,
What's
it's
your
two.
favorite kill?
Actually, for me, it's two. The first kill, I would say, would be it's not kind of like a kill, but I would say that it was kind of like more of a death scene between
Yeah.
Irene and the deputy when they get surrounded by the demons upstairs while they're trying to
Oh
buy Breaker some time.
yeah.
She kind of does it. It reminiscent of me of the way Vasquez and the lieutenant went out in Aliens, kind of
Yeah.
like the suicide thing. And I mean, again,
Yeah.
she shows her toughness all the way till the end. And I thought that was a fly way to go out. That's just me. And then the
Yeah.
second one
It was no. You're right.
was, and then the second one was actually the biggest surprise that I thought in the whole film, where Breaker bites it. I did not expect him to die at all, man. I mean, even though
Oh yeah.
we're
Yeah.
taking in the information and we kind of know that the keys passed on from protector to protector, but the way he got it, man, I didn't expect the kid to just take him out like that.
Yeah.
And you grinding a big hole in his chest. I was like, damn, dude. Like you went out
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah. It
but
took him out.
it was a real shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those
That
two.
one was. That one was. And after not having seen the movie in a few years, I honestly forgotten that he died.
Yeah.
I knew that Jada Pinkett made it, but I forgot that he died. You know. So seeing it again, I was like, oh shoot, he did die. I forgot.
Yeah. Because most heroes, you figure they make it till the end.
Yeah. 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 He doesn't, and he passes it on.
Right.
But going back to CCH Pounder and her death, what was cool about her character is that she was so tough. She was such a tough character to begin with.
Oh
She got her
yeah.
arm
Oh
ripped
yeah.
off. She had her arm ripped off, and she just kept fighting. She had a shotgun. When Collector came to try to tempt her with her arm on a platter, she puts the nub up. She puts the nub up. I'm like, that's me flicking you off.
Yep.
Yeah, I just like she was just hardcore, man. I like that character. Either you can answer this either way. Favorite line or favorite scene?
Favorite line for me, I got to tell you, because when you said Billy Zane's part when he punched the sheriff in the mouth, uh, I kind of like that conversation before he did it. He was like, "Man, you guys wouldn't be acting like this if you knew who I was." And
Right.
he standing there, and the sheriff's like, "Yeah, whatever, I don't care." He's like, "Well, we don't have to wait. Why not? Why not I show you now?" Blah, just like that. And it
Right.
just,
Yeah.
I started laughing. It was just so shocking. It was such a great kill, like you said. I always remember that part. Well, why wait? Let's do it now. Blah.
Yeah. Yeah. One hit a quitter.
Yep.
Oh
So that's
man, for
my favorite
me,
line.
yeah, that one is good. For me, it was a combination of, well, I had to decide between the scene right after that, after the Billy Zane kills the sheriff, and he goes outside, and he throws off his hat or whatever, and he's like, just hold dunk.
Yes. Yes.
Cowboy shit! You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfuckers!
Oh man, yeah, I love that scene, man. I love that scene. I almost feel I don't know, but I feel like he improvised that
Yeah.
because it doesn't. It's almost like it doesn't fit, but it does. And if it wasn't improvised, if it was written, and the writer's a genius
Right.
because that just seems so Billy Zane. It's something like that he would do.
Right.
But still, that's not my favorite. That's not my favorite. My favorite is the when they're in the kitchen, and I think Breaker he's eating that bowl or whatever, and it was Dick Miller and the prostitute, it was a Cordelia,
Cordelia.
and she was on the table. Yeah, she laid across the table, and that cat jumped up on the table.
Dono's better to eat that slop.
God damn it. Get that pussy off the table. I meant the cat.
Classic. That was
And,
awesome.
and it was perfect because like the prostitute's laying across the table, and then the cat jumps on the table, and she says, "Get that pussy off the table," and you don't know which one she's talking about, but it's just a funny line.
Right.
And I think she comes back and says, "I meant the cat," but
Right. Exactly. That was good.
I love that line, man. I love that line. I love that line. Yeah, genius writer. Unless she ad libbed that, and then she's a genius. So yeah, that's my favorite line, man. Dumbest thing that happens. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna let you marinate on this. For me, it's and there's a lot of dumb mistakes that happen in this movie. Like there's people that do a lot of dumb things.
Right.
What's the guy Thomas Hayden Church? When he decides to get tempted and actually believes Billy Zane, he's going to give him the key and thinks he's going to let him walk out of there. Like, come on, man, you've seen
Right.
what this guy does already. But dumbest thing, man, is dumbest thing to me is right after he kills the sheriff and goes outside and he cuts his hand and starts dripping the goo on the ground, and the little demons start coming up. Breaker already had the key. He could put the blood on an entrance and it will seal it, right?
To steal it. Yep.
Knowing this, everyone, including Breaker, is watching Billy Zane outside while he's talking to them. Cuts his hand, drips the stuff down, it bubbles, the little things rise up. This whole time, Breaker did not just dab the blood on the windowsill that all of them were looking out of, and they stood there to watch all of this. And this wasn't a short amount of time. They stood there and watched it all, and then when the demons popped out and started coming at the house, they want to start panicking. He starts sealing it. That was pretty dumb. Breaker, you already knew what was up. You should have sealed the windows and doors immediately when Billy Zane went outside. Like as soon as after he punched the
100%.
sheriff, you knew he was a demon. Like you knew he was a demon when he chased you there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
even like when he first came into the hotel, he should have been sealing doors and windows, knowing that a collector might be looking for him.
Right.
And I always thought that, that was so dumb. Like, why are you just hanging out in this hotel when you could seal it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, for me, that was really dumb. That was just a really dumb scene to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know
I agree
about
with
you.
you 100%, man. 100%, I agree with you, man. But I guess if you looked at it, if he had started sealing stuff up, it kind of would have like, I guess, like messed with the story, as far as like the way it would flowed
Yeah,
when shit hit the fan. So,
yeah,
but along the same line, I mean, with the seal, it's almost like some of the characters didn't really understand it because I was going to tell you that the dumbest thing I thought of, was the fact when they were coming back from the mine and Breaker seals the little mine shaft up, and then freaking Church's character Roach just freaking blows the damn seal with he shoots the shotgun over the seal and just messes the whole
yeah.
thing up.
Homer, this is for 4 years of minimum wage, you asshole.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you broke the
Like,
bubble, man. What the hell are you doing?
you freaking idiot. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that guy, like, you wondering like, what are you doing, man? You see all the stuff going on. Like, why are you making decisions like this?
Right. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
I just think like
yeah,
like you said, from a narrative point of view, yeah, he may not have wanted to seal the everything on the way in, because it may not have fit with the narrative of the movie. I just thought it was just a dumb
right.
decision to not seal the stuff when he got there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the obvious. That was the obvious thing to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're thinking about.
Another scene I thought that was kind of funny was, because Church's character came off like the dummy of the whole group. So when
Yeah,
when he makes that deal with Blaine toward the end and gives him the key and everything like that, it kind of was funny the fact that he thought that Blaine was gonna just let him walk. I mean, he thought that Billy's character was the collector was gonna just let him walk out of the building, and which I thought was ridiculous. He gets down at the end,
yeah.
he's walking out and, oh yeah, I lied, and the freaking demons tear him to pieces. But I'm like, why did you not think that was going to happen? You seen
Right.
again, like you said, seen everything that was going on. You see the type of person this creature was, and you want to believe him? Like, come on, man. So he died like the idiot that he was living as.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And another thing I forgot to mention is that, like, Billy Zane, man, he tries to somewhat seduce Jada Pinkett,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she doesn't fall for it, because first he tries to tempt her like he does with
yeah.
everybody, but then he kind of comes back and says, he tries to say I love you, but he can't.
Right.
And he's like, you come back with me. There's advantages to this and everything. And she doesn't go for it.
Right.
This leads me into another dumb scene, actually. When she pours the blood in her mouth. She
Yeah.
pours the blood in her mouth because the blood would, to melt him or kill him or whatever. And he's like dancing with her back and forth, and like she has like 8 opportunities to spit that blood in his face, but she
Right.
waits until the last moment. Like she's on the ground, and then she spits on him. Why? Why did you put the stuff in your mouth and wait like 5 minutes to spit it on him? Like you sitting there holding
Yeah.
like this the whole time. Wait, what are you doing? What if you accidentally swallowed it? Like,
Yeah. It done. End of the movie.
and what if he hit you? What if he punched you in the throat and you just swallow that shit?
Come out.
End of the movie. Movie's over. How it should have ended. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, it's a horror movie, man. Dumb stuff got to happen.
Right.
But
Right.
let me ask you this though: what is it? What do you like about this movie?
Well, I think during the time period when the film came out, because I saw this in the theaters. Uh,
Yeah.
when the film came out, it was different. It was a unique film. And again, the draw-in for everybody, I think, was because it came from the Tales from the Crypt camp. So
Yeah.
you expected kind of like this, with the Tales from the Crypt stories, man, to me they always ended really jacked up. It wasn't really, it's never really like a really happy ending. But a lot of those stories,
Right.
you got like people got their just desserts, but they didn't. It wasn't like a happy thing. So you
Yeah.
kind of go
Yeah.
into the film wondering like, man, these guys they got kind of like a jacked up way of doing like endings, and just storyline is always kind of twisted and jacked up. It shows kind of like a lot of jacked upness within humanity, and a lot of those
Yeah.
issues end up making the demise of the main characters and stuff. So thinking about that, I'm like,
Yeah.
they actually making a full film like this has got to be out of this world. So that's why I kind of like the
Right.
film, and the film stayed with me because it was the characters were memorable. The story I think was simple, but it was good enough
Yeah.
where you sat down for that 94 minutes and you enjoyed yourself from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So
A one location movie, you know,
right,
which a lot of the shows, a lot of the Tales from the Crypt shows, they were like one location. Even Tales from the Dark
yeah,
Side and Monsters, stuff like that. They usually happen in one location. So yeah, that makes it, it just makes it a more compact story. Not too many things going on, easier to keep up with. So
right,
yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. And for me, I like the fact that we didn't get to talk about the director. He was a
oh
cinematographer
yeah, yeah,
professionally.
Ernest
So
Dickerson.
yeah, yeah, and he filmed it like it comes across like an episode of Tales from the Crypt. The
Yeah,
way it's kind of the way it's filmed, the lighting, the settings, the camera angles.
right,
It's filmed a lot like a Tales from the Crypt episode, and something about like that like anthology show or anthology segment of certain movies. It's
right,
like an extended version of a story you see like in an anthology movie, and
right.
like I said, it's a really simple story, easy to keep up with. It's got great characters. It's
Yep.
got all the characters are memorable. Like we didn't even mention what's the guy's name? Charlie Fleischer, who who's in this movie. He was the voice of Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
I don't know if you
well, the
remember
guy
the
that
like
played
the
Wally, the
nerdy
guy
guy.
that was the postal guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was gonna go postal. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, memorable characters, and just Billy Zane chewing up scenery, man, that you just can't look away from. And that's one of the
nah,
things I like about this movie. Like I can kind of come back and
he was
rewatch it.
good. He was
Yeah.
really good.
And just to touch on the director again, I want to give him his props. I mean, you kind of schooled me on him, and that he was with Spike Lee and helped Spike Lee out with some films.
Yeah, yeah. He's from Spike's camp, and he did actually he did film, I guess, a filmography for like Juice, Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X. So he definitely needs to be mentioned. Because he's one of our black. He actually
Yeah,
directed this film, so he's definitely one of our black directors that needs to be acknowledged big time.
yeah. Look, y'all. That's Demon Night. Find a way to watch this movie. It's close
Yes.
to Halloween. It's a great Halloween watch. It's not too long. It's not complicated. It's not much to think about. Give it a watch. Let us know what you think. If you've already seen it, let us know what you think. Send suggestions for movies that you'd like us to talk about. Alex, you got anything?
Nah, this was really fun to revisit, and I hope everybody gets a chance to
Yeah,
watch it because it's a great film, especially for this holiday. Definitely.
yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching again. Peace.